Welcome to the podcast YourTurn. Make your mark in design, the program that helps you to take action as a designer. I'm Miros.
And I'm Remke. We are at the campus of the Delft University of Technology, that's in the Netherlands. Here, students from all over the world learn to design, from cars on hydrogen to kitchen utensils. From buildings, big buildings, to toys for children.
And today we're here with Nico, Bea, and Mate, students from the International School of Delft. They're part of the Eco Club and they design sustainable products. But what is design? And how do they use making and thinking for their design? Let's ask the children what they think about this.
Designers make clever things. I love to make pasta. Every time you make pasta, you have the challenge to get the water out. At our home, we have a very handy design for this. It has two bowls and one that fit together. The smaller one is connected to the big one. In the small bowl, you cook the pasta. And when it's finished, you just move the big bowl away and the water can run out of the small bowl. In a wink, you have your bowl of pasta.
A design that I like is a spatula. For the beginning, a spatula is a wooden stick with some plastic on the top, I think rubber, and the shape is a bit round. When you're mixing, a lot of dough often sticks to the side of your bowl. With a spatula, you scrape against the side to get all of the dough into the cake pan. This is good for you because you can make more cake. It is also good for the environment because you do not waste food and you get a big cake.
And what's your favorite design, Nico?
I forgot the name. It's a really famous structure in Greece. It was all white and it's made from marble. It has columns in the middle that hold the roof like a house.
A temple?
Yes, a Greek or Roman temple. I like the structure. It looks very open and it has very detailed. And to think that they made this in that time, so many ages ago, with all the equipment that we have today.
So if you're listening to the podcast, what is your favorite design? Behind each product, there are different designers.
Designers are aware of the needs of people. For example, people need protection against the weather. A roof helps them against rain, and at home we have a parasol against the heat. A designer will look around and discover what people need.
Yes, design is when you find a problem and you create a new object that can solve the problem. You design the object especially to solve it. If there's a problem, like I want to move my chair around and it's very heavy, then I could make a chair with wheels. Like that sort of stuff. You start with a problem, you think of a solution, and you create a prototype and test it.
Yes, as we did when we designed our boat. Our problem was that we didn't bring food to the other place across a river. We thought of various ways to make boats from aluminum foil.
And sometimes they worked very well, but others tilted easily and couldn't carry much marbles.
Yes, you want something that works well. But to get there, you often have to make a lot of prototypes.
A prototype, what's that?
A prototype is, just imagine a book before you publish it. You first make a draft and ask some people to read it. It is exactly like that in design. You make a draft as well. You can make an airplane propeller, but maybe you make it from cheap materials and test it a number of times. Only when you think it works really good, you start to use expensive materials or make the full version.
And then you have to make a prototype, and then
You test it.
and then
You test it
it
and
and
test
Test it.
till you're satisfied.
We will continue to talk about important skills of designers and how they develop their creativity. Each one of us has a personal style, and at the end of this podcast we will give you a little playful design exercise that you can use to check your style of designing. So keep listening. Bea, what is important for you in design?
Creativity is important. You need imagination and create various ideas. You have to think in many directions. Creativity is stimulated by lots of things. Actually, creating things helps or imagining things. I read a book that said that creativity is that it gets more powerful when you make connections in your head, and making connections in your head enhances creativity.
So it's like a cycle. When you make connections, you're able to make even more connections.
And it's about making and thinking. Who of you starts with making and who prefers to start with thinking?
Sometimes I make a plan when it's a really important project and I know I cannot get it wrong. But honestly, when I'm making things for fun, that really bores me. The plan feels useless. When I want to learn, I want to work with materials and try things. I have an idea in my head, but not a plan on paper. I just start making.
When people make plans, they put in huge expectations. I do this, and then you won't finish your plan. That is so annoying.
For me, plans are also a problem because I do not hold into that plan really. When I'm making, I get new ideas, and the thing that I am making turns out better than my plan.
But how do you know when you achieve your goals? A plan helps you know where you want to go.
I use other people to check what I'm doing. My mom and I were making a tapestry, and I showed her my work, and she said it was nice. I use other people's comments, and they know that I'm not the only one person who likes it. Feedback is important.
Plan is a sort of mental map. I like to make a plan on paper, and when you have a plan on paper, you are able to share ideas before you start building, and people can help you with their comments.
Remke asked about how about you were doing your thinking and making, and how you use both processes but in different ways. Some like to put their ideas first on paper, while others directly start working on it and the materials. And then they start with a little idea and let the idea grow during the making.
We all switch from thinking to making and from making to thinking. But we also switch to involving the other people and communicating by showing plans, drawings, or the prototypes.
Here's a little exercise to find out how you design and how you switch from thinking to making and from making to thinking.
Look around in your house for scrap materials, like boxes, plastics, and so on. Collect some scissors so you can cut and make holes.
Now do as if you have recently met a lady who has only 2 fingers and she has asked you to make a design so that she can use a pen. Try to solve this challenge.
And what happened when you hear this? Do you directly pick up materials, look for a pen to think of ways to hold it with 2 fingers? Or do you start thinking, making mental images?
Or do you look for someone to talk to solve it together? We hope that you enjoyed the exercise and our talk about balancing, making, thinking, and creative design.
Bye!
Bye!
Bye. It is your turn. Make your mark in design.
Thanks for listening to the podcast Your Turn to Design, the program that helps you to take action thinking as a designer. Make sure to join our Facebook group, Your Turn to Design, and share your design with the hashtag Your Turn to Design. See you next time!